Hello and welcome to the class. Just to kind of get you guys going, I'm going to show you how to install the Cisco simulation application. A lot of you, I think you may know how to install stuff on a Windows machine, but just in case you don't, that's okay. We can teach you anything you need to know. So let's imagine, you go to Canvas, you downloaded the file. A lot of the times on Windows, you can just click on this button, and we'll just go ahead and we'll open up my home location. We'll go into Downloads. We'll go ahead and open this one up. We'll go ahead and minimize out of this window, get it out of the way. This one, we do want to install it, so we'll push on yes. And we'll just click on next. I accept. Next. 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 We do want to make an icon, so we'll click on next. We'll install it. And this shouldn't take too long. And this little message, we won't be using that functionality, so we'll just click OK. We'll uncheck this box and we'll click on finish. So as you can see, we have an icon on the desktop. We can open up this application by double clicking it. We could also go down to the bottom. We could go to all, and we can find it this way as well. But we'll just go ahead and launch it on the desktop. So this application is actually kind of cool. It's made by Cisco. You can use it to simulate almost an exact physical lab, besides the hands-on of actually plugging in the cables physically and spending a whole lot of money to get access to all of these devices that you see. You get it in just one palette in this single application, so it's kind of nice. I use this a lot when I took these classes. I used it at DACC, I used it at NMSU, and I like it quite a bit. Just to give you a nice quick foundation on how to use it, once you open it up, I like to always save my labs immediately. Um, you can do lab 1 hyphen, just type in, the student's name. Go ahead and save it off the bat because I've a few times I've done the labs and I've had an outage at home. I didn't save it, so I lost my whole lab. As we go along in the class, these labs will get kind of lengthy, so you don't want to lose anything. You always want to save it as often as you can. Once you've saved it, this is kind of the canvas that you have. Any of the devices that you want to add, it'll be on the bottom left hand side. You have multiple sections that you can access. You got this one, you got all the Cisco gateways. Usually we'll just be using the most basic model in this class. But if you decide to go on and take the second class, maybe you want to do the CCNA, you may use some of these because some of these gateways have telephony options and so on. But this is usually the one that we'll use, and you just click it and you'll move it onto the canvas to be able to use it. Let's say we want to add a switch. We'll go into switches. Most of the time we'll just use a basic switch. If you move the mouse above it, you can see all the links on the switch. Sometimes we may need to use the 2950T, which has almost the same capabilities, but at the bottom you can tell it has a couple of gigabit links as well. Sometimes we'll need that. You can look at the 2960. This one, almost the same thing, but has some additional functionalities as well. We won't be using this one at all. Hubs, we won't be using hubs. We won't be doing Wi-Fi, but you will be using the connections. Anytime you do the connections, let's say we wanted to hook up this switch to this device. This guy is the patch cable, so we would use this one. Click on the device, we can choose which slot we want to plug it into. Most of the time we'll just select this one. We want to plug it into this guy, and we want to plug it into this specific link. So let's imagine, we want to get a second patch cable, and we want to plug this one, the only one that's left, into this guy, and we'll plug it into the last one. So that'll let us do that. We'll be using this one a lot as well, the end devices. You can add things like PCs, you can add specialized machines, copy machines, IP phones, you name it. Anything that's IP capable. One thing that you'll be doing quite a bit as well is changing the IPs on these devices. So it doesn't have full Windows on it, but you can change some of the specific settings. Like this is the back of the machine. Sometimes you need to change out modules on it so you can move them like that, and you can tell it's not going to let us do it because it's on. So we can go up to the top, we'll shut this guy off, and we can exchange modules. If we want to put a gigabit link, we can do so, and then we can go up to the top and switch it on. A lot of the times you'll need to specify a static IP on it, so you'll go into desktop. We won't be using a whole lot of this, we'll just be sticking with the IP and the command. So if we want to assign a static IP, we could click on this, 192.168.1.2. It'll autofill the subnet mask. Usually you can leave it, sometimes you'll need to change it. You can add a default gateway, all of that good stuff. You can also, like on a Windows machine, pull up the command line. You can do like ipconfig all to tell you what its IP is. You can ping, ping itself. Actually, I think it was 192.168.1.1. 1.2. Anyways, you know how to use it. We'll go ahead and close out of that. Same thing with these guys, they look almost the same. You can change the IP. We won't be using WAN too much. No custom made devices. Mainly you'll stick with this one, this one, this one, and this one. Aside from that, if you make a boo-boo and you need to delete stuff, you can click in the white space, click on the X, and click on what you want to delete. So we could delete this cable, we could delete the phone, the copy machine, the PC, you name it. And then if you want to go back to clicking stuff, you can click on this, and you can move stuff again. That's about the basics of using this application. Once you finish, playing with it, and once you actually do the labs, you'll always want to save it. You can close out of it. You'll always want to save it again just to be safe. And always save the labs because you want to upload them to Canvas. So the way you find them is on Windows, you'll go, to the desktop. You'll open up the file that belongs to you. You'll go into the Cisco location, and it is inside of saves. So the lab that we just saved, it is lab 1 with my name on it. So this is the file that you want to upload to Canvas in addition to the lab document itself. The distance ed folks will be using this mainly to complete the labs. The in-class people will use the physical lab, but at least the distance ed folks can get almost the exact same knowledge and abilities as the in-class people without having to be physically at the lab, so it's the next best thing. So I hope you guys enjoy using it. I know I did. If you have any kind of questions, upload a discussion, submit an email, and have fun with it.